Happy Friday. Bitcoin is going up. It's a good time to talk about Bitcoin. Um, in the last video, so I recorded a video, we compared the top 100 cryptocurrencies. So this is CoinMarketCap. And quite often people struggle when they see all these different cryptocurrencies. They don't know which one is worth buying, which one is not worth buying. So I recorded a video a few days ago on Wednesday, and we reached all the way up to 30. So we reached that stage, and in this video, I'm going to be going down from 30 to 60. Just a very honest and academic review with the positive and negatives, just to give you a very unbalanced and unbiased, that's the correct word, unbiased way of is it worth, like Monero, for example, is a really good coin. Is it going to make it? Probably not, because US will probably go after it. Uh, but that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be looking from coin 30 all the way to coin 60. And just to show you, this is the channel. If you're interested in this kind of content, please click like, because as you can see here in the bottom corner, if only one person just clicks doesn't like the video and 12 people click that they like the video, according to the YouTube, it's not getting 100% as a good quality video. And the problem is that most people really like to hear things like Bitcoin is going to go to the moon, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin now. In this video, I have taken some screenshots and some graphs. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin and what do I think is going to happen with Bitcoin. So keeping it on the positive, and then we're going to go and review the coins from 30 onwards, from 30 to 60. So it's going to be from 31 from here all the way to coin 60, which is going to be, let's see, which coin is coin 60. Coin 60 is this one. So we're going to go all the way down there. And it's going to be quick because the top 30 are more important. The from 30 to 60 are less important. Another thing to show you, my channel doesn't really get much of a revenue. I get like 36 cents per month. And as you can see, this is going quite a lot of time. I get zero. I'm not doing this because of the money. And that's why I'm saying if you like content that is not gonna promise you something, then please click like, because some people really have a favor their own favorite coins. Like some people like Cardano, some people like Bitcoin, some people like Sui. And if you say anything against their coin, they're so convinced that that coin is going to go to the moon, they don't like your video. But the truth is, many of these coins will collapse in the next bear market. You're likely to see Ethereum and Bitcoin, Solana maybe, but many of the coins that you see down this list, they won't exist. Let me show you something. So let's all go all the way to the top 100 and see how many pages you have. So we have reached coin 100 here, and see how many pages there are with coins. There's like loads and loads and loads of different coins. And here you would see the total number of 2.4 million cryptos in total. But let's start with the analysis of the Bitcoin situation at this moment, because that's positive. And people like positive things. People like to subscribe when you're talking about positive things. They don't like negative things. So I have taken some positive aspects, but again, stay until the end if you want to hear the negative. Where are we in terms of the Bitcoin cycle? So we can see that we are currently around here. So that's the black arrow that is going up. And compare this to the other cycles. So Bitcoin, we can expect this to be going up significantly. But then eventually, what this graph is not showing you, that for some reason, this is how they portray the price, and this is how you see only the positive things. But actually, there's a different image which is down. So the cycles, they usually go up and down in a lot more volatile way. But if you're interested in buying something, you're not really that late, because this is where we are currently, and the trend is scheduled to be going upwards. If I was buying, which I'm not, I would say this is a good time to be trading, not to be investing. Why? Because if we look at the fear and greed index, this is just not the time that you would be buying crypto. This is around this time is when you buy crypto in the red zone. But if you're a trader, what traders usually do when the market goes up, they have a stop loss function. So they would say, I'm placing a bet that Bitcoin will go up to 150, but if it doesn't, my stop loss is here. And without investors, they don't have that kind of stop loss function. That's why I'm saying at this present moment, this is a non-financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Actually, if you want to know more about me, you can just type my name in Google. So that's me. I work for the University of Oxford, so that's my university profile, and that's my Google Scholar. You can read all my work over there. You can check my LinkedIn profile, and I don't have a image. It's not really that relevant. I just wanted to record the video. Now, what is my opinion on Bitcoin? Is it going to go up and down? Probably it's going to go up. But again, stay until the end. And if I was investing, I would be doing trading at this point. I would not be buying Bitcoin and staking it, putting them into a savings account. Because again, what this graph, the Bitcoin price after halving is not showing you here is that there's always a dump. So it usually goes up, then follows by a dump. So this kind of graphs, they're a little bit misleading because they're showing you different long-term perspectives. But in terms of where are we now, we're somewhere over here. So there's still a long way to go if market continues to go up. And my bet is that probably is going to continue to be going up. But again, finally, I'm going to say this for the fifth time. If I was trading and if I'm betting that the market will go up to, I don't know, let's say this over here would be a price of, let's say, 150,000. And if I'm saying I'm going to put I'm going to open a position and I'm hoping that it's going to go up to 150, but I'm going to keep getting stop losses here and I'm going to keep closing my position and opening a new one. So it won't be just one position all the way to the top. It would be one, and then I would open a new position with a stop loss here. Then I would be opening a new position with a stop loss over here. So I would be canceling the risk in other words. So I would be doing this all the time with setting up what is my risk tolerance. And what happens with these stop loss functions, if you set up a function that's going to go up to 150,000, but let's say here is 50. And if I say the biggest risk that I can take is 50,000, then the platform would sell over here for me. So I won't really lose that much money. And that's why I'm saying trading is probably a better time now than trading is better option now than investing. But let's look at some other graphs that I have prepared. This is another way how you can trade. So this is you have those dips. This is from the previous bull market, so from the 2012, from 2016, from 2020. You would see that there's always a dip. So this is a dip. This is another dip. And if you really wanted, if you have that itch and you want to buy something, I would be looking at those dips. So I would be looking at buying something when the Bitcoin price drops a little bit, instead of buying it at the peak. Because if you buy in a dip time, there's still a chance that it would recover a little bit more, and then you can sell over there as opposed to buying it when it's on the top, because that's usually gives you only one option and people don't want to sell there. Then it recovers a little bit, but they still don't want to sell, and then it crashes and they lose all the money. So look at those dips. If you really have that itch and you want to buy something and you don't want to trade, instead of buying it at the peak time, which is here, look at maybe when it drops a little bit, and then at least you would have a exit out of that trade. What else do we have prepared? Let's see another figure. This is interesting. This is courtesy of Fidelity. Most of those images are from reputable institutions. So Fidelity is a fairly reputable institution. And this is a publicly available information. The data source that they are listing here is from Bloomberg. So this is not a secret information. It's not a conspiracy, although it's going to sound like a conspiracy. But the only way how the US could potentially get out of their debt is that they would be buying Bitcoins because this debt ceiling is getting out of control and it's becoming like a spiral. So you cannot tax more because the growth of the US economy would shrink. And many people think, oh, well, they're just going to increase taxes. No, no, they call that economic communism. So taxing doesn't usually lead to more money. Taxing to repay debt, it's not ideal. Actually, around 13% of the US debt, the annual repayment is just a repayment on the debt interest. So if you're taking money from the economy in form of taxes and you're repaying the old debt, it's not going to work. It's just you need to have an economic asset that is outperforming and then use that to repay the debt. That's how usually it's done. Economic communism doesn't work. So taxing, I don't think Donald Trump, the new administration with Elon Musk and Donald Trump, I don't think they will be going for taxing. It's more likely that they're going to try to get out of this spiraling debt which is going out of control by purchasing an asset, some asset that is going to outperform the economy. And then let's say you invest certain amount of money over here, and then that asset expands into value at much higher rate than your debt, then you can sell that and pay off the debt. That is my assumption of how they would try to get out of this. Because today Elon Musk has been talking about what was it saying? That they're gonna cut the deficit, the government spending by X amount of trillion. And if you add up all the money that they can actually get rid of, that they can sell, even to close all the agencies, it was still not enough. They would have to cut the pensions, or they simply don't have that as an option on the table. Politics is it's always interesting. But if I would gambling, if I was putting my bet on how they would try to get out of this debt ceiling, I would say that they would probably buy an asset that is outperforming the rest of the economy and then sell it to pay off the debt. That leads me to another interesting diagram here. We're looking at the money inflation. So those are here we have loads of different, and again, this is from a credible source, which you can find over here. A credible source, X, very credible source. Um, but the actual data comes from a credible source. And here we are. We have Nasdaq, US growth. We have US large caps, mid caps. There's lots of different, even gold. So here's gold, and many people are like, "Oh, we should buy gold." Gold is not performing that good in terms of monetary inflation, and this is data from 2011 to 2024, and it's 14 years annualized return. And you can see here that there's only one asset that outperforms significantly comparing to the rest of the economy, and that's Bitcoin. So if I was looking at how US would be paying off that debt ceiling, probably I would, and they have already announced that they're gonna create a strategic reserve of Bitcoin. That's the new administration in the US. So this is why Bitcoin is probably going to be going up in a short term, at least, until they decide to sell it. Let's see what else do we have in terms of technical analysis. Okay, this is another convincing chart. This is from the sources here, FactSet, and it's from November the 12th. Hold on, let me try to draw the different line. And as you can see here, S&P, it's performing 15% comparing to real estate or comparing to gold, which many people are obsessing with gold. Gold is not an asset that you would be using for outperforming the economy. Gold is hardly catching up with inflation in most aspects. So even if you're buying real estate, that's only at 10%. So S&P 500, that's at 15%. And Bitcoin, it's at 60%. So if I was placing a bet, a gamble on where would the US government try to repay that debt, I would say that they would be capable of creating that, what they call it, a strategic reserve for Bitcoin. They would buy that and then they would sell that to reduce the debt burden because taxation is not on the books of people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk. What else do we have here in terms of technical analysis? Is if that was not convincing enough so far, well, the 12 out of the top 20 ETFs, exchange traded funds, that got launched in 2024 are related to BTC, Ethereum, or other cryptos. So here you would see that there is a lot of interest in cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin specifically. And Bitcoin is becoming one of the leading established assets. Hold on, wait until the end before you start throwing rocks at me as of being a speculative investor. Actually, I don't hold. I have like 25 USD in total of Bitcoin. This is another interesting graph that I wanted to mention. This is from ARK investors, and somehow I feel compelled to include references as if this was an academic review, which is not. ARK Invest is just an investment company, and here you would find more about them if you wanted. They don't pay me. I don't know much about them. Actually, if I was investing, I wouldn't go for those. I would go for Vanguard. Vanguard have the lowest fees for their ISAs in the UK, at least. But I would be looking at whoever has the lowest fees and whoever is regulated. I'm just using the chart from ARK's investors. And this chart tells you that the federal budget deficit is on unsustainable path. The treasury budget deficit or surplus as a percentage of a nominal GDP, it's problematic. So this has to be fixed. And by the way, here just to show you, this is in minus. So that those are minus figures here, and that is plus. So here it's minus 5%, minus 10%, minus 15%, minus 20%, and we are looking at years, and we are somewhere over here. That's where we are currently now. And as we can see that the debt in terms of percentage is it's not going up at all. So it's not recovering. The last time that it was in some kind of a surplus, it was in year 2000. So that's here. And from then onwards, the deficit is just minus, 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 and that has to stop somehow. Otherwise, the US is going to be in a big problem. Uh, and I don't see economic communism in form of taxation that is going to be implemented by an administration like Donald Trump and Elon Musk. I'm betting that they won't increase taxes. I'm betting that they're going to drop taxes. I'm betting that they would do cost cutting, then they won't really have much success in cost cutting because they're going to have lots of opposition by senates, different. US system is not easy to bypass. They have lots of barriers, so they won't be able to cancel the educational department as they're claiming today. They're going to face lots of obstacles, and then they're going to have to look for another option. And that option is probably going to be buying a speculative asset like Bitcoin, then trying to manipulate the price. That's what big players are doing. And once it goes up, they can sell, dump the coins, and repay some of the debt. That's what I would be betting if I was in their shoes. Um, and what are the assets that they have available to buy? Many of those assets, keep in mind that they cannot buy. So the US government won't be able to go and buy Nvidia or Apple or Microsoft or Amazon or Google. They just can't buy those. Oh, by the way, this is Vanguard. I keep my eyes with them just because they have the lowest fees. Actually, most of the fund managers, they charge you so much in fees that at the end is not worth investing. I was looking at the cheapest, and that's one of the cheapest ones. But I don't invest a lot. I invest like 50 or 100 euros or pounds or USD when I have spare cash, just to be in the game. But anyways, the point is that out of all of those assets, this is the only asset that the US would be able to go and buy on the open market, given the restrictions that they have in terms of acquiring assets. So the US government is not just allowed to go and buy things like as they wish, but they can buy Bitcoin, they can create a reserve. They won't be able to buy shares from individual companies like that. They would have to bundle them and create kind of a risk-averse scenarios. So, but look at the options that they have. There's not that much, and if you look at, we already said that gold is number one asset, but it's not performing at the speed that they need in order to repay the debt. That leaves them Bitcoin. Silver, again, is not performing at that speed. Saudi, well, I hardly see a US government investing in a Saudi Arabian company. Google, Amazon, and all the rest are basically private companies. So they have some exposures to those already. And okay, that's probably enough. I made my point. These are the options. They don't really have much options. And this is the final diagram that I have. And this it's a screenshot from a trading platform. I'm not going to show you the trading platform. I don't want you to go and trade. If you are a trader, then you know how to trade. If not, then if you don't know which platform this screenshot comes from, you shouldn't be trading. You really need to read about trading first. And first thing that you need to learn is stop loss function. Remember that stop loss function. You should never trade without a stop loss function. What am I trying to? Why did I take this screenshot? Because currently the market is going up, and we're expecting Bitcoin to be hitting all-time highs. They have broken all the all-time highs, so they have only one way up. But there's also a significant pressure at the mark of 100,000. So once Bitcoin reaches this 100,000 mark, there's going to be a significant sell pressure. And if Bitcoin can break through that, then clearly Bitcoin is a very promising asset. But if I was betting now, I would definitely put a stop loss function around that level, around 100,000. So if I was opening a position on Bitcoin now, I would say, okay, I'm betting that it's going to go up. That's how you open a position usually. But I have a stop loss function at 100,000, and if it starts going down, then the platform would sell at that point, and I'm not going to lose that much money. And I would be happy to pay for that stop loss function because it would protect the value of your asset. And I think this is probably enough of what I had prepared for this video. I'm gonna be recording another video because I think long videos are not fun. And I'm gonna record a separate video that I'm gonna be analyzing the top, not the top, from 31 to 60. So I'm gonna be looking at those coins. There's already one video on the channel that I'm looking at the top 100 cryptos, but that's from 1 to 30. And again, please subscribe to the channel. As you can see, I'm not getting tons of money. I'm not doing this because I'm not going to get rich from YouTube. I'm doing this for fun. And also, please click the like because you see, if there's one person who is probably a member of cryptocurrency that I'm critical about because they don't really have a real value or real use case, or maybe they're overvalued, then if that person owns that cryptocurrency or works for that, clearly they're not happy and they would click the thumbs down. If you're not interested in this kind of content, please unsubscribe. But if you are, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to record occasional videos. I won't bombard you, but I'll be talking about are those currencies worth. And let me give you just one taste. I mentioned Monero. Monero is a very interesting coin. It's a privacy preserving coin. Um, it has a significant use case, but I don't believe that the feds would allow it. I don't believe that the national governments around the world would allow Monero to prosper just because it means that they would have an oversight. They would have no way of tracing how money is flowing. Another thing, why I don't think it's gonna succeed, because you see, coins like Bonk, it's a meme coin. Bonk has more turnover. So this is the volume over here. So if you're looking at the volume, Bonk has a higher volume than Monero. So 62 million volume in 24 hours for Monero, that's a very low volume, um, especially for a currency that it has a market cap uh, almost equivalent to Bonk. And Bonk is a meme coin with no use case. So you see, coins like Polygon, that was the Matic, now it's called Polygon. They have a volume of 270 million, and Polygon, in my opinion, is not really performing very well comparing to some of the other coins that we're gonna be talking about. So Monero, it's a brilliant coin, but don't fall for brilliant ideas. There's always more than just the idea. So the idea behind Monero is okay if the United States was running it, and then if they can see the transactions, but then they would hide it from other people, then that might work. I don't see how national governments would allow privacy preserving coin because they won't be able to see how the money is flowing between um, countries. So money laundering, money from prostitution, and all those various gangster stuff, they won't have oversight. And banking system is one way how they catch criminals. Monero would close that door for the or reinforcement agencies. So as good as it is, uh, I don't think it's going to be successful in the long term. I'm gonna be recording another video. Again, I don't want this video to take too long, but and I'm gonna be looking at 30 to 60. Maybe I'll record it today, maybe tomorrow. It won't be long. Subscribe.